Hey everyone, Cathy here, your wellness coach, and today is a hydration subject video, and we are talking about drinking away anxiety. And no, I don't mean like a AA type of situation. Drinking away anxiety. Here we go. So, Cathy Perez here. Hello, hello. I am your fellow female advocate as well as wellness coach. And we come here once a week and talk about all things wellness. And today we're talking about hydration. But before we get started, we always start with our positive quotient repetitions. Positive quotient repetitions or PQ reps. And that is to make sure that we're dropping into our bodies, that we are connecting our brains with our bodies, because that's important for mental fitness and health. All right, so here we go. If you feel safe, and only if you feel safe, feel free to close your eyes. I will do the same. And what I want you to do is, whether you're sitting or standing, I want you to have a tall spine. Okay, so think about elongating your spine and make sure that your head, right, is aligned with your shoulders, aligned with your back. Everything is nice and straight. Then, what I want you to do is we're going to work on our breath, and we're going to take deep breaths in and longer depth, longer breaths out. Okay. And here we go. So inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're going to exhale for 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Once again, inhale through your mouth, through your nose for 4, and we're exhaling out 7 through our mouth. Here we go. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, this time, all we're going to do is notice our breath. We won't change the breathing pattern. We won't change anything. We're simply going to notice, without any judgment, our breath. And when your mind drifts away from your breath, gently come back to it. No judgment. And with that, let's go ahead and blink our eyes open. That was a form, there are many forms of positive quotient repetitions or PQ reps. And you can find all the wellness videos follow the same pattern as do the recommendation video playlist. Okay. So today we're talking about, really quickly, drink away anxiety. So for our wellness, one of our wellness pillars, okay, is hydration. And the topic again is drink away anxiety. So again, disclaimer, not about, if you have any issues with alcohol or anything on that matter. This is a really quick tip about why hydration matters. Did you know, okay, that when you take even if it's just a baby sip, okay, like barely taking, like that alone can take you from a sympathetic state, i.e., your fight or flight system, and it can put you into, very quickly, a parasympathetic system, i.e., our autonomic nervous system ANS, okay, our autonomic nervous system, has the fight or flight mode, sympathetic, or it has our rest and digest or our calm, okay, system. We, as humans in the 21st century, are always, unfortunately, in low grade chronic sympathetic. And that's not good. Like we are always in fight or flight, but it's a low grade fight or flight, but our bodies don't know how to properly adjust. Remember, our ancestors came from caves, right? And their amount of scaring, so to speak, right, came mostly from life or death situations, quite literally. And so that is the oldest part of our brain. Our subconscious is the oldest part of our noggin. The prefrontal cortex is the youngest, which means the subconscious rules always. And so we get to learn through PQ reps how to adjust how our sympathetic, how our subconscious, okay, is working for us or against us, right? We want it to be working in our favor, even when it's automatic. So drinking, okay, starts quite literally our digestive system. Why? Because we're taking something in, consuming it, and yes, it's liquid, but when you drink, your brain has to switch from anything fight or flight and it has to register what is this person doing, right? She's taking in something, something has touched her mouth. Now it's in her mouth, something touched her lips, now it's in her mouth, and now it's going down the trachea, which means, or I should say the esophagus, excuse me, we don't want it going down the trachea, the esophagus, okay? We want it to go into the right place. Um, for that exact reason, actually, that was brilliant. Thanks, Cathy, you're brilliant. I know. We don't want anything that should not be helping our breathing technique, right? Going into our trachea, we want everything that has to do with liquid consumption, food, right, to go into our esophagus so that it goes into our digestive system correctly. For that reason, that is why your systems will change from fight or flight, right? Oh, I'm feeling nervous, let's say. And as soon as you take a sip of something, and I say water, but it can pretty much be any liquid, preferably water, not anything else. But let's just say, right? Whenever you take a sip of something, that immediately tells your brain, wait a minute, she needs to stop and sip, okay, finish drinking whatever it is, and then we'll continue with whatever we're doing. Now, more than likely, as soon as you take that sip, your body again has switched from the fight or flight mode and it's gone into the parasympathetic, i.e., or the rest and digest. And that's what we want. Now, it's not going to totally like if you've been like in a, let's say, unfortunately, you have something really heightened, right? That fight or flight your system taking a sip may not automatically lower your fight or flight response, but it can greatly help start taking it down. Even when you take it down a notch, that helps, okay? But drinking, okay, again, is part of our digestive system. And so by virtue of you taking a sip of something, preferably water, and doing so slowly, okay, you can try to drink it fast, but that's not really good for the tummy regardless. When, again, you're taking a sip of something, you are taking the fight or flight system, you're telling it to slow down, literally to stop, and you're going into your rest and digest system. This can help, especially like, let's say maybe you're having, like I've had, right, in my lifetime because I was diagnosed with anxiety, anxiety disorder. I know what it feels like to be in an episode, right? And you know that feeling, the tingly behind your neck, the pricklies, right? You can feel the palms getting sweaty. As you've noticed that happening, then you can say, you know what? Let me just try to calm down and take a sip. And all it needs is a sip. And if you so choose, right, to keep drinking, do so slowly. You don't want to upset, right, your tummy. Um, but that is important. It's as simple as that. Your hydration is so important for many, many reasons. And it can also help, again, in a high stress situation to just stop, take a sip, and then let the liquid, go through where it's supposed to. And then you might find that you are a little bit more clear-headed, right? You have a little bit more focus. You may still be in a heightened state of anxiety, but I can assure you that you're probably going to have a little bit more focus for whatever you're dealing with. Um, a very interesting moment in my life, which is very, very close to home and very vulnerable at this moment. But I do want to end with this. Uh, when, um, right after my mom, unfortunately, um, took her trip past the rainbow, that in that very, very sad, very traumatic moment, we were in the hospital. Obviously, it happened. What I did, because again, I already knew that when I get into heightened states, right, that's not good for me, because of my disorder. But that moment was such a traumatic experience, right? All I could do to think about trying to calm me down, because I could tell that I was starting to escalate to a point where this was not going to be good for me or my family, as we've just been through something, right, so traumatic. Um, I actually took what was in my bag and looked for something to eat, which I did. I remember seeing applesauce that was unfortunately meant for my mom that morning, but she obviously did not get to partake in that. I ate the applesauce very slowly, but I did so. Everyone else had gone into another waiting room and whatnot. And I ate the applesauce, not really understand. Well, that's not true. I did so because from my therapy sessions many moons ago, I was biofeeding my body. I realized that I was going into some type of a, fight or flight situation. And I'm like, okay, biofeed. I need to tell my body to calm down. And even though my therapist never told me exactly the physiological reason to do so, i.e., because it turns down the sympathetic nervous system and it starts the parasympathetic. But that's exactly what I did out of necessity. I very slowly and very just literally the most focus I've ever noticed applesauce. I noticed the little pieces of chunks and I mean, like it was this whole body experience to take me into a place where I was not going to literally end up needing medical attention myself. And I leave that with you because believe it or not, our bodies are miraculous. And if you choose to take this simple advice and simply say, next time I'm feeling very nervous, next time I'm feeling high anxiety, let me try this. Get whatever you can, preferably again, not something with alcohol in it, but if that's all you have, that's unfortunately all you have. But all you need is just a sip, and it will help you start to take again that anxiety down. And then as you start to recover, again, use the idea that the more I rest and digest, now I'm not saying like stuff yourself with food or anything of that matter. It quite literally just needs to be you taking little baby bites of something, or again, in this case, drinking something, and you'll start to feel better. So I leave you not with sadness, but hopefully with a way to help empower you that hydration, very much part of our livelihood, quite literally, and it can help calm you down when you need it the most. So with that, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Take care, take charge. God bless.